Hi guys, this is Akhlaq Ahmed. Welcome to my channel. Now today I will be talking about, that's right, you've guessed it, the Mavic Air 2. Now this drone, I will be taking this outside just to show you what it's got to offer. So I just want to ask a question. Is the Mavic Air 2 better than the previous versions? Stick around in this video whilst I'm about to reveal all. Okay guys, so we all know that the year 2020 wasn't exactly a good year for all of us, despite with the COVID and lockdown and all of that bad stuff. However, whilst we were in lockdown, DJI did give us a lot of products that they kept us busy all year round. I mean, there's a long list of all the products they came out with this year. So what did DJI give us? So this year they gave us the DJI Pocket 2, they gave us RSC2, the Mavic Mini 2, Osmo Mobile 4, the RS2 and many more. However, there was one product in particular that really stuck to my brain this year was the DJI Mavic 2, and what I'm about to explain in this video will show you why. So first things first, let's just talk about the features here. Okay guys, so first things first, this camera has a 48 megapixel camera and it can do RAW format. We also have the USBs on the side to upgrade the firmware. On the other hand, we have the micro SD card to insert into the drone. And just like previous versions of the drone, the on and off switch is at the top. So nothing has changed there. It's also a battery indicator, so it tells you how much power we have left in the battery. Now, the thing with this drone, it also has this stunning 48 megapixel camera on the front. Absolutely brilliant, sharp quality. It can just take images just like an DSLR. I'm actually blown away by that. It also has the a half-inch image sensor, aperture f2.8, zoom wide angle lens. Again, absolutely brilliant for a drone like this. And even the dimensions, I mean, even when you actually weigh this drone, yeah, it only weighs 570 grams, which is absolutely brilliant. I mean, even when it's folded and unfolded, you can see the dimensions on the screen there. Considering the fact that it's not a mini, it still is a good size. And if you remember in the previous versions of the drone, we had the digital dials on the remote, a Night Rider dashboard as I call it. I wasn't too keen on the antennas. However, now DJI have come up with a new design remote. Now I'm not too keen on this design. I prefer the digital dials. However, I love the fact that you can twist the knobs of the remote and you can also insert them at the bottom of the remote once you're finished with them. So very stylish. So I can see how DJI have thought about this. So yeah, pretty impressive to say the least. Now in terms of the drone itself, now DJI, they have come up with some firmware upgrades over the past few months. Now if you look on the screen on the top right, it'll show it gives us the time until it's returned to home, how much time left for forced landing, and until the battery dies. Now we never had these features when I first bought this drone, but with their firmware update, this information is now visible to us. Now as I mentioned earlier, it does do very stunning images. So you can see in this video here, I have taken some really nice images. It's very sharp quality, 48 megapixel. Now you see in this particular shot, I took a capture here, shutter speed 320 seconds for shutter speed, and this was the result that it gave me. So you know, it gives us the wide angle shots as well. So if you look on the screen, 320 seconds at f2.8, ISO 100. Look how amazing the image quality is. I mean, I love how it brings the green grass contrast out. Absolutely brilliant. Now there are modes in this particular drone, so you just draw a square over yourself as I've done here. Now the quick shots mode, it has like about 4 or 5 different ones. So this is the droney mode. So basically what happens here is the drone is programmed to go in a certain direction without you even touching the remote. So this is the drone mode. So you can see basically this mode, it just goes in front of you and then it comes flying back to you in the same position that it flew from. So you can see there as it has done there. Now the other mode that I want to talk about is the rocket drone. Again, the rocket mode is just basically, it does exactly what it says on the tin. So it just shoots up like a rocket, as you can see there on the video. It just shoots up like a rocket above your head. And you can see the record, the red circular button there. So when that reaches 100%, that's just telling you that once it reaches 100%, it's going to come back down, which is pretty impressive to say the least, because it saves you from actually guessing when the drone's going to come back down. So I really believe that feature is very useful. And the next quick shot mode is the circular one. Again, you just draw a square around yourself. So the countdown begins and it basically does exactly what it says on the tin. It goes around you in a circular motion. Again, you can see the red button there, the red button on the side, which tells you once it reaches 100%, it's done its rotation and it's finished with the shot. Now, these kind of shots, I do prefer these shots. Maybe if you're a car salesman and you want to do like a car video shoot, it's very useful for that kind of stuff. So the next quick shot is the helix mode. Now helix mode, it does give you like a little preview of what it's going to do. You can see it's detected the people in the back, so the drone knows who's in detection. Now the helix mode is kind of like the circular kind of mode, but in a different way. So again, you know, the red button will tell us when it's finished. So when it reaches 100%, it'll go back to its full, it'll do its full turn, and then it lets you know when it's finished. Now again, you know, it is good for kind of like wedding kind of shoots or even modeling shoots. I mean, on occasion I do modeling shoots as well, so I could use this mode for them. It's absolutely brilliant. It gives you that kind of like cinematic effect, if you like, and you know, you can just go on forever with this. So, and the next mode is, I think it's the asteroid. The asteroid one is absolutely brilliant. Now, actually, sorry, it's the boomerang in this occasion. So the boomerang one, again, it does exactly what it says on the tin. It goes like in a boomerang direction. And I'll just show you on the video. So the video shows us here. So, you know, like when you throw a boomerang and it comes back to you in that direction, that's what it will do. So it's kind of like going in front of me and then back down, just like now you can see why it's called the boomerang effect. So yeah, and as I was saying, the last one is the asteroid. Now the asteroid is one of my favorite quick shots mode, and I'll show you why. Now again, you know, you just draw the square around you and the countdown begins. And let me just show you what this does, because it's quite interesting. It's quite different to the other quick shots mode which I showed you. So as it goes in the air, now what it'll do is it'll stay there, and you see the guy in the white tracksuit bottoms walking past me. Now keep that guy in mind, because I'll explain why I want you to keep in mind. Now what it's doing here is once it's in the air, it'll take, can you see how the camera is actually taking a photo at 360 degrees? So this is why it's called the asteroid mode. Now, once it takes a shot each frame by frame, what it'll do is it'll stitch it all together and it'll do all the work for you. And let me show you the end result, what it does, because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. So this is what it actually does. Now, let it just finish taking the images and I'll show you why. Again, you can see the red circular record button. So again, once it's done 100%, then that means it's going to come back to you as it is there now. Now, whilst it were taking images in the air, do you remember I told you about the guy in the white tracksuit bottom, the yellow tracksuit bottom? Can you see him there? There. So this is the end result. This is why the camera was actually taking photos at 360 degrees. So that's why it's called the asteroid mode. And also note, guys, you cannot use the spotlight on a high frame rate. As you can see there, it's given me a warning. So one thing to keep in mind, you can do 60 frames per second at 4K, but 4K zoom only 30 frames per second. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. Now you can do the spotlight at a low frame rate, so the drone can follow your movement, so it'll move along with you. The active tracking makes things easier, so it can either move along with you, or it can just stay in one place and just follow your footsteps here. So again, a very useful feature. DJI they've always had this feature, and it's so much easier, makes things easier. And you can also use the point of interest, so it just goes around you in a very slow motion, as you can see there. So very useful. This is what I love about DJI products. They always make things easy. Also note that the HEVC, that's H.265, is a more modern video codec than H.264. It retains more detail and use less storage space. Again, something you might want to keep in mind. The Smart Photo integrates scene recognition, hyperlapse, hyperlight and HDR into one mode for optimal results. Scene recognition optimizes different camera parameters for different scenes and supports intelligent recognitions of 5 categories, that's sunset, blue sky, grass, snow and green trees. Hyperlapse optimizes photos taken at night or in low light situations. HDR selects the best image for multiple layers thanks to an adaptive dynamic expansion algorithm that determines optimal parameters. 8K resolution can only be used in the free mode and waypoint modes. Now I will talk more about time-lapse in a different video, because time-lapse photography is, as you can imagine, it takes a lot of time and patience. So I will do a part 2. If you do want to see that, just let me know in the comments box. And just to add, guys, you do get 34 minutes of flight time on one battery. So if you're on a long journey and you've got a spare battery, that's 68 minutes altogether with the second battery. Also 2 color modes. So if you're a color grader like myself, you can use this Cine D Lite, which gives you a flat image. And on the other side of the screen, we have the normal mode. So if you're in a rush and you can't be bothered color grading, just use the normal version, the normal color. So that should do the trick. But anyway, guys, with that being said, that comes to the end of my review. Now, if you do want to see the full video, what you can see now, I'll link it in the description box below. So what were some of your favorite features which we discussed in this video? Remember, comment below. Give me a thumbs up. If you do like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.